The enthralling tale of persistent search culminates in a horrible final excavation that rewrites history and challenges the human imagination. Prepare to be astounded because reality is more magnificent than your wildest dreams. It's the Lagena brothers again. During the final phase of excavation at Oak Island, they made a terrible discovery with their crew. On the 140 acres of the supposedly cursed Oak Island, the Lagena brothers and metal detector expert Gary Drayton have primarily discovered clay, wood, and metal implements. But they have also discovered a number of rare artifacts. But what precisely are these insanity-inducing discoveries they make during the final Oak Island excavation? As we unearth each piece of treasure discovered in the final section of The Curse of Oak Island, the truth becomes apparent. When the excavation reached a depth of 190 feet, a subterranean vault that had been concealed for a long time was discovered. There was an overwhelming sense of surprise and disbelief. The group cautiously entered the room as their pulses raced in anticipation. Inside its dimly lit confines, they witnessed an extraordinary sight. In front of them was a glittering tableau of extraordinary wealth, comprised of piles of gold and silver coins, antique artifacts, and priceless diamonds. The treasure was quickly estimated to be worth billions, making it one of the most significant discoveries in history. The artifacts disclosed a rich history, connecting Oak Island to antiquity and validating long-debated hypotheses. As news of the discovery spread like wildfire, it attracted the attention of historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters all over the globe. As specialists dedicated their time to discovering the treasure's origins and legends, Oak Island became the focal point of the investigation. The Lagena brothers have spent their entire 9-season tenure searching for treasures buried on the island by the Knights Templar, British soldiers, or even Spanish pirates. In the Season 1 finale of The Curse of Oak Island, titled The Find, metal detectorist Steve Zazulik discovered a 8-inscribed coin while investigating a swamp. Later, it was determined that it was a copper Spanish 8 maravedis coin from the 17th century. In the Season 2 premiere, Once In, Forever In, the coin was cleansed and examined, revealing that 1652 was inscribed on the reverse. Additional examination of the coin revealed that it had been lost in the marsh for hundreds of years and was not a recently deposited object. All indications pointed to the fact that this was a legitimate historical discovery, the first of many throughout the program. Could this inconspicuous copper coin be evidence of previously undiscovered pirate treasure? The Lagena brothers appeared to be on the right track in their search for Oak Island's concealed wealth. In the second episode of the second season, Return to the Money Pit, treasure hunter Gary Drayton discovered not one, but 2 distinctive treasures while metal detecting. He made his first discovery near Oak Island's shore. Drayton and his associates discovered a button from a 17th century military officer's uniform, although it is unknown to which military it belonged. However, it could be evidence that the military was responsible for some of the confidential information camp, after uncovering what appears to be an engraved metal tag from the bottom of a handgun. Were these campers from the 18th century searching for forgotten wealth or abandoning it? In the 1700s, the only thing that can be said with absolute certainty is that Oak Island was extremely active. In Blood is Thicker, episode 15 of season 4 of The Curse of Oak Island, Gary employs a metal detector to examine the objects Rick and Marty Lagena had unearthed at the Gal 1 excavation site. They initially assume it to be a coin, but quickly realize that the word plated is engraved on it. Dr. Laurie Vanderlande, an expert in antique valuation, examined this spherical object and concluded that it was most likely a gold-plated button from a 17th or 18th century British military uniform. When the Lagena brothers discover a large metal hinge with drill marks in the same location, this becomes considerably more plausible. Dr. Vanderlande examined it and concluded that it was from the same time period. Even more intriguing is the fact that it was frequently used as a hinge on treasure chests. Even if it originated from a ship that used the hinge for a different purpose, it is still a very intriguing discovery because it raises the question of what lies beneath Oak Island. In Dead Man's Chest, the second episode of the 5th season, Gary Drayton and his metal detecting team once again discover evidence of 17th century participation on the island, which may have been caused by the military, pirates, or both. Soon after discovering a 17th century musket projectile which was used in cannons, they find what appears to be a Maravedi, which is identical to the one found in the Season 1 finale, The Find. This coin is unique because it has been cut into tiny pieces. Oak Island entered a new era when the dust subsided and the significance of the discovery became apparent. The long-held legend had finally come true, permanently altering the fate of the island. Oak Island. Specific museums, exhibits, and research facilities have emerged, revealing the island's enthralling history and incredible discovery story. The Oak Island treasure symbolized human perseverance and the ceaseless pursuit of the unknown. It served as a monument to the ability of the human spirit to solve even the most difficult challenges. The island's name would endure in the annals of exploration and treasure hunting, inspiring future generations to investigate unresolved mysteries. Remember to subscribe to the channel for additional blues from the mysterious universe. Today, Oak Island is still a fascinating destination where tourists can follow in the footsteps of the early explorers by exploring the money pit's depths and witnessing the astounding discovery that forever altered the course of human history. The island serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries to be solved, secrets to be uncovered, and hidden treasures in the most unlikely places. The island serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries to be solved, secrets to be uncovered, and hidden treasures in the most unlikely places. Tap the video links that appear as there is much to learn about Oak Island. Click now and we'll meet you there in a moment.
A sacred symbol often linked to divine knowledge was also seen in a 14th century Templar prison in Dôme, France. The significance of this symbol is impossible to ignore, as it was also seen in a 14th century Templar prison in Dôme, France. The deeper they dig, the more the pieces align. In Dôme, France, the Templars left behind cryptic symbols scratched into the walls of their prison cells. Now, here in Morimondo Abbey, those same markings appear once again. If the Templars were hiding something, they left behind a trail, but not one meant to be easily followed. It's almost as if they were preparing for their own downfall, ensuring that their greatest questions would survive even if they did not. For centuries, the Catholic Church and European monarchs sought to erase the Templars, accusing them of heresy and greed. But was it really about faith or something far more valuable? Something worth hiding? Something worth rewriting history as we know it? Many believe that the true motivation behind the Templars' persecution was to seize their vast wealth and sacred relics, treasures that included the legendary Ark of the Covenant. Back on Oak Island, the presence of a Templar-era cross raises even more questions. If the Hoe Stone's markings match symbols found in Morimondo Abbey, it's possible that the Templars had knowledge of the New World long before Columbus. If they made it to North America, what exactly did they bring with them? The Lagena brothers have discovered a massive underground structure on Oak Island, which could change history forever. They are digging deeper into the legendary Money Pit, which has been marked as highly suspicious by previous searches. Old records hint at hidden structures below, and recent groundwater tests have pointed to traces of gold and silver beneath this level. However, history has taught them that hope alone doesn't guarantee success. As they dig deeper, wooden beams start surfacing, sparking fresh debates among the team. At 110 feet, more pieces of wood emerge, some showing markings, Roman numerals etched into their surface, indicating someone long ago was working underground with a level of organization that suggests purpose. The massive steel tube keeps sinking deeper into the ground, forcing its way through layers of earth and stone. At 160 feet, tension is unbearable, and the team knows this depth has led to incredible discoveries in the past. Some believe they are about to reach a hidden chamber, possibly a treasure vault sealed in thick concrete. However, the entire operation comes to a halt when the steel casing hits something solid, causing the earth beneath them to collapse. Panic spreads as the team realizes they must first understand the island's long and troubled past. The Money Pit legend was born in 1795 when a group of young men, led by Daniel McGinnis, found layers of logs neatly stacked every 10 feet. They made it down about 90 feet and found a big stone covered in symbols, but it vanished. The deeper they dug, the more problems they faced: flooding, collapses, and frustration. In the mid-19th century, the Truro Company began drilling into the pit of Oak Island, a tiny island in Canada. They discovered wooden platforms, soft metal, and coconut fibers, hinting at something bigger. In 1897, a small scrap of parchment with the letters Vi written on it was found, hinting at documents, treasure maps, or important records. In the early 19th century, William Chappell and his team found an axe, fluke anchor, and miner's pick traced back to Cornish miners. Robert Dunfield arrived in 1965, digging a massive hole but finding nothing. In the 1970s, the Triton Alliance drills deep, but the footage is too murky and the hole collapses. The Lagena brothers arrive with cameras, high-tech equipment, and a mission to solve the centuries-old problem. They find some things, such as a lead cross, a stone road under a swamp, a garnet brooch, and wood from deep underground, hinting at man-made tunnels. Soil testing shows high amounts of silver below the money pit, which could mean treasure. Rick Lagena and Marty Lagena, the stars of The Curse of Oak Island, were obsessed with the idea of buried treasure and the unsolved nature of the island. They bought a controlling stake in Oak Island Tours, Inc., the company that owned most of the island, and their efforts became a full-blown television show. Rick was the heart of the story, while Marty was the brains behind the operation.